I chose to do my geography in my backyard video at Leon Creek Greenway. Leon Creek Greenway is this trail maintained by the San Antonio Natural Parks. We start off the day with a little bit of precipitation, some light drizzling at a temperature of 49 degrees that morning in early January. You can see that it's pretty typical for it to be lightly raining according to our San Antonio climate graph. 49 degrees falls within the lower averages of this time of year in January, and for the whole month of January, we only usually get just over an inch and a half of rain. You can tell that a cold front had come in recently because the natural climate for most of the year in Texas is hot and dry weather. This is the middle of the dried up portion of Leon Creek, which we'll come back to in a moment. This is a body of water that we found, small one within Leon Creek. That was cool to see considering that a majority of it is really dried up. Our theory for why this part of the creek has this body of water is because of the elevations on the ends of this body of water are probably has a higher elevation than the rest of the creek, which traps this water here because of the flow from when water was flowing through here probably got trapped here while the other parts of it dried up. This part of the video is one of my favorites, where I had determined that this upper part of the creek was probably like upstream because of the elevation, and the water would flow down into this lower part where it eventually dried up. But I found evidence of this part of the creek and also others, because I found similar evidence in other dry parts of the creek, that these are floodplains, which means that water carried sediment and other materials building up the elevation of the bottom of the creek to be higher than those around it, which would explain why it's dry and why that other part of the creek still has water in it. Here you see me picking up some seashells and pointing out that they probably were carried by the water to these parts of the creek from some larger body of water. Further evidence that I have of this being a floodplain is that we found these spiral seashells, the petrified shells that you see here, that were fossilized because they were buried in the sediment, and when probably another flood came through, they were probably revealed to us for us to be able to find, washing away the material and the sediment on top of them that left them fossilized. Perfect example of denudation, where we see that the rocks have come down from weathering, started up top, and either gravity or some kind of erosion or physical weathering brought them and carried them all the way down here. Right here is a good example of weathering from water. You can see that water probably had collected up here at this higher elevation, came down, clearly washed away a lot of the dirt that were probably covering the roots, comes down into this trail, and all the way down into the bottom down there where it looks like there was probably once a creek. And that was my adventure to Leon Creek.